Good Thursday morning, Houston. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Kim Castro. We've got those towering clouds building in. If you look outside, you'll notice, you can probably tell we're about to get hit with some downpours, and that we are. I've been watching radar all morning with these bubbling storms off the coastline now starting to move into the downtown area. So the Beltway, the Loop, seeing those bright colored spots anywhere between the orange to the bright red means we're getting rainfall rates of 1, 2, even 3 inches per hour. These are not going to stick around through the whole hour. They're actually moving really fast. But this spot right here, Brookhaven, Brookside Village, Pasadena, Galena Park, all those areas are going to get torrential rain. And you'll notice some frequent lightning too. So let's have a closer look at the lightning count. Over the last 10 minutes, 21 strikes. Notice the difference between the negative and the positive strikes. Negative ones come from the bottom of the cloud and they hit the ground. Positive strikes come from the top. And because they travel a longer distance from the top of the thunderstorm to the ground, they're 10 times stronger. So if I see that number go up, I start to get a little concerned that these storms are getting a little bit stronger. But for the time being, they're just your classic showers and storms that we expect this time of year. And these are being fueled by a coastal low, by the way, that's going to hike up those rain chances. We've been talking about it all week throughout your day-to-day into your Labor Day weekend and even the start of the coming week. So again, Giddings Road right now getting hit with some heavy rain, pushing into the downtown area. This is moving fast. So up next, we're going to see impacts to the River Oaks area, to Rice Military, to the Heights. This is a big swath that's kind of moving through, but again, pretty fast. Hobby Airport, some heavy rain that passed through the area. Now you're seeing a little bit of a lighter rain behind that. Foster Place, you're in the thick of it right now. Gulf Crest, same deal. Again, the bright red spots signal that you're seeing the really large raindrops. Tropical moisture makes it really hard to see when we have these cells overhead. If you can avoid travel over the next 30 minutes or so, this is moving really fast. I would say so. So if you're planning to get lunch now, push that lunch back to 11:30, 12 o'clock. I think it'll get a little bit better by then. Foster Place, Gulf Crest, up into Dates Prairie. That's where we're seeing some heavy rain too. Look at the rainfall rate there, getting close to 2 inches for Jacinto City, Clinton Park, Magnolia Park. Basically all of us in Harris County are going to see a soggy hour. So from now until about noon, I'm going to be watching radar passing through the heart of the town. So look at this loop here over the last hour. So this happened very fast. The showers kicked off in Galveston and then they moved up the Gulf Freeway pretty quickly from League City. Look at the timestamp by around, we'll put it at 10:15 to downtown by 11:15. So these are moving 60 miles an hour, really, really fast. And so the good thing with that is that we shouldn't see issues as far as rain accumulation causing struggles on the roads. But, you know, a couple of areas with some splashback on the freeways with a little bit of ponding, that's to be expected. Because these are charged, I'm going to say avoid going outside, again, until these storms pass through. And from there on out, they'll just be a little bit more scattered throughout the rest of the afternoon. I think this is going to be the worst of it right now. So looking at East Axe Freeway, looking at Scott Street, this is starting to sweep into our west siders. So for the Galleria area, like I told you, our KHOU studios here in Westheimer and Chimney Rock about to get that big burst of rain. I've been watching those clouds kind of billowing throughout the morning, and that's from that moisture finally pushing through. It's been sitting off the coastline throughout the entire morning. So the energy has been there, and now the sea breeze is moving in. That's daytime heating. It just progresses these storms into downtown, and we're finally seeing kind of the energy being wrung out. So from now until noon, that's the worst of it. However, we are under a weather impact alert through 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Why is that? Even though this first push is the most intense, we are going to see some wraparound rain from the coastal low that brings us a chance for a couple of these heavier downpours through your commute back home. So just keep that in mind. Not only is it heavy rain, but we're going to see some frequent lightning, and some of these cells, I'll be watching them closely. They could have a little bit of gusty wind too. So you need to just drive really slowly. You need to give yourself extra time to get to where you're going. If you can avoid some of these critical time frames that I'm talking about, like the noon hour or the 5 o'clock drive home, if you can check in on radar, check in with us, watch the newscast at 4 and 5, and we'll give you an update as to how the storms are developing, what radar is looking like, just to get a better feel as to when we should avoid hitting the roadways. Here's a live look all around town. Perfect. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Wow. Look at the Galleria shots. So this is from our roof, Westheimer Chimney Rock. It is totally dark. So these clouds are very, very thick. Now the rain, you can start to see some of the buildings kind of disappear there off in the distance. I don't know if I could pick up on any rain from the camera flare just yet. However, the Gulf Freeway, looking back at downtown, well, usually you can look back at downtown. You can't see it right now. Woo, that is a wet, wet, wet shot there at 11:10. So temperatures are coming down with the rain-cooled air. That's the nice reprieve we get from the shower activity, is that rain is an evaporation process, and so it's a cooling process with that too. So throughout the next hour, this is what it's going to look like outside. So if you step outside for the lunch hour, typically around 11 o'clock, and I say try to push it back till 12:30, and things are going to look much, much better. But yep, slow going right there. You could see the reflection from the headlights. No issues so far as ponding is concerned, but still. Look at that. Galveston, where those showers initiated, is now starting to see a little bit of a break. So still plenty of clouds off in the distance, and that's because the coastal low is still there. In fact, it hovers here for the next couple of days, and that's where our rain chance is going to come in from each and every day. But how much have those temperatures dropped because of the rain-cooled air? 79 degrees right now in Galveston. Looking at Katy, so you still have a little bit of time before the showers push into your area, but your sky could look like that pretty soon. So that's a look at the Galleria area. We're gonna just kind of wait here for the next 10 minutes or so, and then we'll start to hear those downpours and the thunder. So these storms are charged. You're gonna feel that rumble, you're going to see the flashes of lightning, and hopefully you're not caught in any of these downpours because they are tropical in nature and there's a lot of fuel out there. So 82 degrees right now for the Galleria area. Look how different that is compared to Katy, that is dry right now. So it's about to be a 10-degree drop once those showers roll through. Have a look at that Gulf Freeway camera here really quickly if I can see anything else. Yeah, it just becomes really, really hazy when the atmosphere is so saturated like it is. There's a lot of humidity out there. Dew points are really high, and so when we get anything to lift up the moisture, like this coastal low, and bring it back down, it paints this picture. So pretty messy for the next hour or so. Something to talk about with these storms. Because they originate from the coastline and they continue to push in the same spots round after round, there is the risk for a few areas to have trouble later on today. This first round I don't think is going to cause too many issues because, again, it's moving really fast, 60 miles an hour, and so it's going to be in and out kind of thing. But once we start to see those repeated rounds of showers, say if we get another downpour along League City at 2 o'clock. If we get another storm in League City at 4 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, you get the picture. It's a lot of rain in the same spot, and for that reason, there is a slight risk for some localized street flooding. So that's a level 2 threat, and it is highest for coastal communities. So this is Galveston, Chambers, and Brazoria County. Note, though, Harris County is not out of the woods. So there is a risk that some of these repeated rounds of rain could hit some of our really heavily populated areas in downtown, in River Oaks, in the Heights, in Sugar Land, and Richmond. Notice Fort Bend is included in that too. It's a marginal risk, so it's the lowest risk on the 1 to 4 flood risk scale, but it's there. And it's not just there today. As we head into your Friday, it's also there. We're highlighted with that lowest kind of marginal risk. And then notice the higher risk, the slight, level 2, shifts a little bit further east, and that's because the coastal low is going to start slowly trending towards the east. So it's going to take the majority of the energy along with it. How about your Saturday? It shifts even further east, but still, you know, keeping the perimeter of our area under the gun. So we still have that potential to see some localized street flooding concerns through the start of your Labor Day weekend. So those rain chances are significant. 70, 60, 50%. We could see some of those downpours impacting us on and off. So this is not going to be all day. This is not an all-day washout. You saw, we started off the day with some clouds, with a bright sunny spots, sunshine in the mix, and that kind of fuels some of that daytime heating for the storms too. So not an all-day washout, but when the storms do roll in, because they're tropical in nature, they will come with a vengeance. It's kind of what we expect here in Houston, right? One second we're sunny, the next second we are in a torrential downpour. So that is going to be the trend here for the next stretch of days. Something else that I want to talk to you about, the tropics, we have an update with that. We're now watching this area that has a heightened chance for development. And I'm going to have a lot of details for you on that coming up here on the noon newscast. So that's kind of your heads up to watch the noon newscast. But I'll take us back out to radar really fast in case you're just joining us right now to show you which are some of the neighborhoods that are about to see the heaviest rain impacts from the batch of storms that's moving in. If you're thinking to yourself, hey Kim, you know, I have plans on this Thursday. What time frame should I avoid, or should I reschedule? What should I do? If you had a business lunch penciled in, let's say at noon, I think if you're downtown, things are going to start to quiet down. This batch of storms is moving really, really fast. Now, if you had something penciled in at 11:30, push that back, because it's just not worth it. It's not fun to be out there in this kind of mess. So we'll take it to now. We'll get down really close. Main Street. So, you know, all of those buildings downtown, the Shell building, everybody that works downtown is getting hit with, quite a bit of rain. So I'll have a look at the rainfall rate, 5 inches per hour. That doesn't mean we're going to get 5 inches. Okay, that just means that is how intense the rainfall is that is coming down. If it were to sit over the same area for an hour, that's how much rain we would get. But like we talked about, it's moving pretty fast. Beaumont Place getting hit with some heavy rain and flashes of lightning. Luckily downtown there is no lightning right now, but certainly those downpours, maybe you'll feel a little gust of wind along with that too. Scott Street along the Beltway with heavy rain too. And then I'm going to start the loop here. How about for the last hour? I'm going to, just to show you how fast these are moving. So they're downtown now. I'll put a storm tracker on it. So let's say you live in the Cypress area and you want to know when you're going to start to see the shower activity get into your area. I'll show you. Put it maybe like 15 miles an hour. Okay, there's your storm tracker. Okay, so Sugarland, you should see the heaviest rain for you in about 10 minutes. So it's moving really fast. And then we'll start to push some of those downpours into the Mission Bend area by 11:30. Richmond a few minutes after that. Katy by 11:45, and then Brookshire by 11:50. Give it the 12 o'clock time frame. So pretty fast in terms of the motion of these showers. And then what else did I want to show you? Oh yes, let me zoom out so you can get kind of a big picture. It is a big system out here. It's a messy one. There's a cluster of storms, kind of, you know, let's see how many miles away that is. I'd say maybe like 200 miles away. Yeah. About 180. So they're far, but the counterclockwise flow of these storms is what's going to bring us that chance for isolated heavy downpours throughout the day. We talked about a time frame to avoid. I'd say between now and 1 o'clock. That's when I advise you to be off the roadways. But I put us under a weather impact alert through 5. Now, why is that? After this initial batch, you saw all that moisture that's still in the Gulf. that turns in a counterclockwise motion, and so those outer rain bands are giving us that potential for some isolated downpours through even past the 5 o'clock hour. But I think if I had to pick a time frame that I would ask you to be mindful of your commute, it'd be between now and 5, just because I know a lot of folks, you know, commute back home and things of that sort. So I just want to give you a heads up to be careful and check the radar, check our newscast, check our social pages, just to make sure these storms are behaving as best as they can. Let's look at the radar indicated rainfall rate, and then I'll actually want to get us to the neighborhood weather network too, which actually puts rain gauges in people's houses, so you can get a really detailed look at how much rain we've gotten. But for right now, radar indicated rain looks like this. So let's actually put it back, because I know we got some showers. Actually, no, this works. So coming up the Gulf Freeway, League City to Friendswood has gotten about 3 inches of rain. So that's the deal. With these heavy downpours, they can dump down. Just imagine this, if a cell, like we kind of pointed to, has a rainfall rate of 6 inches per hour, if it passes through your neighborhood and it lasts 30 minutes or so, there's your 3 inches of rainfall accumulation. So these are really juicy storms, and so if we get any more rain in that spot, that's why we have that flood concern for especially our coastal communities. Let's look at Galveston. Looks like it's a little bit of a lighter reflectivity, so hopefully not too much rain. Oh, see, anywhere between 1/10 of an inch of rain to an inch of rain. So these are moving pretty fast, which was good. They moved quickly through Galveston, which is good, because Galveston, I suspect, is going to have repeated rounds throughout the day, because like I mentioned, that's kind of the gateway to the tropical moisture. Okay, so I will see you back here in 40 minutes for the new newscast. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about rain totals we've had so far. We're going to talk about how much rain you can expect throughout the rest of your Thursday. And I know the big talker is, how much rain are we going to get for this Labor Day weekend? If you're trying to head to Galveston, to Jamaica Beach, to Surfside, trying to have a nice beach day or a pool day, or, you know, you're traveling, or am I going to have delays at the airport? We're going to answer all those questions, talking about how much more moisture we can expect, and then a check at the tropics. Don't forget, I know you've been quiet for a couple of weeks, but hurricane season actually peaks on September 10th. So this is when we expect some activity to ramp up, and there is an area that I'll be watching. So I'll see you back here in less than 40 minutes now with all those updates. Stay safe.